All right, everybody, what is going on? We're going to be doing a little discussion video today, going over the Int Broly and my tier list, so that's what we're doing. I guess I could go ahead and pull this up real quick, but Bio Broly right here drops in, what is it? Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Schedule. Bio Broly drops in about 3 hours. I will not be awake for that. Listen, I got an important meeting I gotta be up for in the morning. So, Bio Broly drops in 3.5 hours, and then Goten and Trunks drop in 5 from the time I am recording this. So I'll get videos up for them probably tomorrow afternoon, maybe tomorrow morning if I wake up early enough. But anyway, definitely, like, I'll try to have Goten and Trunks out in the morning, and then Bio Broly maybe by the afternoon. We will see. Anyway, I did calc videos for them. These guys are looking pretty good. Go check that out. But for now, let's go ahead. Let's talk about Int Broly. So I did a little tweet here. It got a little bit of traction for me. Not a ton. I don't expect my Twitter to get a ton of traction. But I got a few people who participated here. We got Galeth saying he sucks, which thank you for elaborating. Appreciate that. All right, so Red Dog here. He is him, living a 5.6 million super attack with no defensive skill orbs for 579k pre-super attack. Also, he is a defensive support. He gives, he is the defensive support. He is the defense support. Sorry, guys, I'm butchering this. I don't even think I explained the premise for this very well. The point being, I asked for people to interact, show me your Broly footage. That's what we're doing right here. After this, we're going to move into comment reactions from my tier list. Sorry. Now that my mind is straight, let me go ahead and read Red Dog's comment right here. He is him, living a 5.6 million super with no defensive skill orbs for 597k pre-super attack. Okay, also, he is the defense support. He gives from intro 80% for 4 turns before and after Broly intro support. So I guess what he's getting at here is that if we pull up Int Broly real quick, probably the easiest way to do this is go to Bio Broly and then like movie bosses. If we pull up Int Broly right here, his intro buff does give characters 40% defense, extreme class allies 40% defense for 4 turns. So if you're running the double Broly team, you know, that's giving you an 80% defense buff for 4 turns for all extreme class allies, which you're going to be running a full extreme class team with this guy. So that's definitely really good, right? That's kind of like a mini version of the 77% support that you get from, you know, the trio. Obviously not as good as theirs, but still pretty decent. And then after you revive, right here, he does give 60% to uncontrollable power, so, you know, that's pretty good right there. But the 80% they're talking about here is from the intro for if you're running 2 Brolys. So let's go ahead and see right here. So this is the team they're running. Movie bosses with the double tech Broly leader. We got AGL Broly, the Easy A Tech Broly, Easy A Int Broly. Wait, am I missing the Int Broly? Am I just an idiot? Like, there's, this Broly. There's Frieza and Cell. Wait, there's no Int Broly on this team. Am I crazy? Hello? Oh, I guess he's just showing 2 different team builds here. So what's the purpose of this screenshot? I don't... Okay. Anyway, this one right here, though, this is the double Int Broly team. Got it. Then we got AGL Broly, Cell, Max, Turles, and Tech Broly right there. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. And then he's saying he's top 3. I definitely don't think Int Broly is top 3. But, you know, let's see what he's got going on right here. Okay, so here we go. So here he is. He's gonna get his domain. Okay, this is the private server, by the way. You can tell because he's got the little thing right there. That or it's on like a APK PC version, something like that. All right, so there's the domain. Nice. Here we go. Yeah. So that's gonna get rid of AGL Broly's domain. Probably not common that you're gonna be getting Int Broly's domain on turn 8, but sure, why not? Oh, by the way, an important thing to note, if you look down here, they have already revived. So this is Broly with, the revival buff up, I guess. So let's see what he's got right here. Did he say, okay, yeah, he's rainbowed. Got it. Okay. And we're gonna grab Cell Max's orbs, of course. This is Goku and Frieza under 50% HP as well. Looks like, yeah, this is post-revive. Did you guys see the extra defense that he got whenever he got hit right there? That is the post-revive defense effect right there. So this is probably like a top-end situation for Broly. 597k, and then he does a 24 million attack stat right there. So definitely just based on this footage, I don't know that I can call him top 3. Like, I think about the other top 3 units in the game, right? Like, you have Family Kamehameha Gohan, you have Beast Gohan, and you have, oh, what's their name? I guess I could let this finish playing. I mean, we're this close to the end. And then you have, you know, the trio, right? And I would say, like, all 3 of those units have the capability to tank this Goku and Frieza for double digits. You know, Beast Gohan with his active skill up. Depending on how fast you get there, potentially, too, because his intro buff could still be up. The trio can eat that easily. And then, like, the Family Kamehameha Gohan can also eat it, but he also has the potential to just KO them before, like, you even have to eat the super attack. So, like, I definitely couldn't put him above those 3. Maybe in this specific situation, I could see him above... like Cell Max, well, but Cell Max still had his active skill as well, so Cell Max could have gone in slot 1 there too and eaten double digits on this turn. I'm trying to think. The Tech Broly could have gone into slot 1 right there, maybe. I don't know. Tech Broly, it would depend on how quickly you got there, because Tech Broly's extra intro buffs do wear off. So, but then in Evolution Blue Vegeta is probably not going there, unless it's like the turn after you revive. So I guess Int Broly's better than him there. AGL UI Goku could go there comfortably. Tech UI Goku could go there comfortably. Who else would I have above this guy? Jiren. Jiren could eat that pretty comfortably if you were in his standby. So I don't know. Because I'm trying to think of all the characters that I ranked above Int Broly. So I definitely don't say that he's top 3. And then the other thing, too, is he only did a 24 million attack stat. I mean, I feel like AGL UI Goku on his own is blowing away, like, what Broly did right there. And I don't even consider AGL UI Goku top 3. Now, I get that there's more fights in the game than just the Goku and Frieza fight, but at the same time, you know, it's like, if he's not even, you know, the best unit in the hardest event in the game, then I have trouble with that one, so... Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to switch over to some YouTube comments now. And we're going to take a look at what people are saying about my tier list that I did the other day. I guess I'll go ahead and show that on video as well. And we'll just read through the comments and see what people are saying. There is one really long comment that I really wanted to focus on. But we'll just see. I've responded to most of them already. But let's just hop into those and see what people are saying. All right, so here's the top 10-ish right here. I don't know if I actually get all of them on camera right here, but you can see 10. I put Broly at 10. You could swap him between, like, you know, him and Jiren. Like, you could kind of switch them around a little bit. I think the thing people were the most angry about was Cell Max. And, you know, listen, it is what it is. I like Cell Max. I think he's a great addition to his team. I just feel like these 3 units are doing more, and they're doing it easier, and they're doing it across, like, more of the game, and they will continue to do it as, like, the future goes on. Like, Cell Max is really good right now, and everyone likes to say, oh, he's just Mini Beast. he's just Mini Beast, and, like, no, not really, not actually, though. But anyway, it's like, this guy's guard wears off too quickly. I talked about it in my tier list video. Let's not get into it here, but we'll wait for the comments to provoke me. Generally, my response to this was, like, I can see it. I'm not... The way... Like, let's talk about tier list for a second, right? Like, people get so uppity about tier list. And the thing is, like, I think if you can generally kind of agree on the top 10, and then just, like, kind of the general ordering, I think you're doing fine. Like, if we get to, like, yeah, we have the same top 10, but you're a idiot. You're the biggest loser in the world because you have Cell Max at 8, right? Like first of all, relax, man. Like first of all, let's chill. Second of all, like we agree on the top 10, right? Like, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, and then let me go ahead and get the top 3. So I ended up putting, I think, Family Kamehameha Gohan at number 1, and I said that these two are pretty much interchangeable. I was like, if you want to put Beast at 1, whatever. If you want to put this guy at 1, whatever. And honestly, even if you want to put the trio at 1, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think you can really put Broly at 1, just because I think there are some fights where his intro is not going to, like, quite be long enough. And by intro, I mean, like, you know, he gets the 2 turns of damage reduction after he transforms into Broly. So you kind of get like 3 really safe turns with him. And then after that, he can kind of get exposed a little bit. So kind of similar to Cell Max, actually. But anyway, like Broly is really good. I like him a lot, but I don't know if I could quite see him at 1. But like these 3, honestly, I could see any of them at 1. What this unit does for every other unit in the game that's on their team is just incredible. And then these 2 are just, you know, really good. So I don't think I need to explain like the top 3. I think the top 3 is pretty well agreed upon. Apparently, other than Red Dog here. Red Dog doesn't agree with the top 10. I think we had one other post, by the way, before I forgot, actually. So this was 55% LR Int Broly versus Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Let's see what this does. This guy does real quick. So yeah, links aren't that crazy. You don't need to link level Broly. That's the thing. So let's see how he does here. So he hasn't revived. This is before he revives. So let's see. He gets a super attack off first. So yeah, he's going to be fine after he super attacks. Even though he's basically just raw defense. No, I guess he has damage reduction here, right? He has 60% damage reduction in guard. So yeah, like this is going to be free for Broly to eat for sure. And yeah, I mean, that's really good. So again, Int Broly's great. I definitely couldn't put him up in this upper echelon with top 3 though. Not whenever I don't even think he's better than like these guys right here, right? You could get me to agree like that that Broly needs to be as high as like 8 maybe. But you're not getting him past this wall. This wall right here of Universe 7 units is just like the ultimate gatekeepers. It's like you're either above all of them or you're below all of them. Like you're not, like I'm not putting a unit in between like these 2, like at the moment, right? It's either you're above all 3 or you're below all 3. And that's just kind of how I feel about a lot of units in the game right now. Are you better than these 3 or are you below these 3? Like that's the wall. And that determines whether you're like a top 5 unit in the game versus like a bottom, 5 of the top 10, if that makes sense. Anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll scroll through some of the comments. I went ahead and pulled it up on the YouTube, like whatever page. So let me switch over there for a second. All right, here we go. So I sorted it by newest comments. You guys can't see it on the side here, but these are the most recent comments that I got. This video did pretty well for me, so it has a lot of comments. I don't know if we'll go over all of them. There is one comment in particular that I do want to go over, but yeah, nothing at the moment. Oh, by the way, I just realized that the music stopped playing. My bad. I'll turn that back on there. That way you guys can listen to Broly's theme some more. My bad, guys. My bad. So Light Cinder right here, 3736. From a box perspective, I definitely think the Z Broly trio and Beast Gohan are 1 and 2. I definitely get it, right? Like, I agree. Like, I can definitely see it, especially for, like, a free-to-play player out there who maybe doesn't have every premium unit in the game. If you're somebody who got the Z trio and suddenly you can just run all of these old units and they're all good again, and every unit in your box just has a mini EZA that's on their team. Like, yeah, I could definitely see where you're like, holy crap, like my account just got a whole lot better. I could definitely see it. For me, like, I feel like Beast hasn't really changed much. Like, he's still just tanking everything in the game really well. His damage is definitely starting to lag behind the other top 10, and I talked about that a little bit in my top 10 video. But like defensively, he's still right up there with the best of them. So, and then plus his active skill is still just a true team protector ability, which is, also still really valuable. It can help bail units out in bad situations. So I can definitely see the argument for these 2 at 1 and 2, especially because, like, I didn't really talk about it much in my video, but Family Kamehameha Gohan doesn't really have a good leader skill. Kamehameha is okay as a team, but I don't know that it's really a great team that you'd want to run 2 of. Like, I would definitely, absolutely, no questions asked, run 2 of Beast Gohan or 2 of the Z Trio. But I don't know that I would run 2 Gohans, like, as quickly as I would run 2 of these guys. So, like, I can definitely get that from Light Cinder right there. I'll just... Oh, no, I don't want to... I was going to check it off as, like, I read that one, but we'll just keep going down the list. So we have at Siminator. Oh, also, one more thing I do want to say is that generally I try to kind of match the energy that people are coming at me with in these comments. So if you're just coming at me with, like, you're an idiot and I hate you, like, I'm just going to be like... okay. Like I'm just gonna match that energy, if that makes sense. If you're like, hey man, I think this is pretty cool, I disagree here, I want to have a conversation with you and talk about why I think my opinions differ from yours, like, yeah, I'm gonna like try to engage in the conversation and like talk about things a little bit, right? But if you're just like, idiot, dumb list, dislike by, like, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna leave you a snarky response as well. All right, I feel like that's fair. Do you guys feel like that's fair? I feel like that's fair. You guys let me know. I know sometimes people are like, oh, you have to just take it on the chin and you shouldn't fight. It's like, listen, man, we're just talking, all right? We're just... anyway, so Siminator right here says, honestly, not a bad list. I only saw the thumbnail and called it the favorites list, which I took down, my bad. Yeah, that's fine. I remember this first comment, right? It was whatever. Like, I get it. I could definitely see where someone's like, hey, like, this isn't really a top 10 list. I had another person in here who said that, another person in here said, like, what was it? They were like, oh, this is a top 10. This isn't really a tier list. And it's like, well, I do technically also do a tier list at the end of the video. I know not everyone stayed for that, but like at the very end, I did kind of go like, okay, like this would be a tier. And I did kind of like sort them into tiers at the end. So, you know, like I did still do a tier list, but, you know, I started with the top 10. And talked about the units because I think that that's what's important first. The top 10 is really just for me to talk about each unit individually in order, and then like once we kind of have them in an order, I can look at them and go, okay, now how do I actually feel about the groupings? And so that's what I did right there. And honestly, looking back at this grouping, I probably could have put Cell Max in this same grouping as these three. I probably should have done that, and I think people would have been less upset. Because the other thing too that I like to make a point of is that in my tier list, like if you're in the same like tier, if that makes sense, like if you're in the same tier like this, that means I could see you at any spot in that tier. So that meant that I could see like Cell Max as high as 5 potentially, which I think would have made a lot more people be like, okay, like this isn't so bad. But since I had them down here, I think that really just upset people, which again, I get it. A lot of people have better luck with Cell Max than I do, and you know, that's the way the game goes. I think Super Saiyan Trio and Tech Broly are all worthy of number 1. Also, I definitely put AGL Broly in there since he's still one of, if not the most offensive units after transformation. So he's talking about the AGL Broly, and I had him in my honorable mentions. He was really close to making the list. It was between him and Int Broly, really. I just like Int Broly better for like the meat of fights, which right now are like on turns, you know, 3 to 5-ish. That's where units are at their best right now. And this guy doesn't become like even a relevant unit really until turn 5. So I like Broly for that better. I don't really so much care about turns 1 and 2, but turns about 3 through 6, I really care about those. Those are the meat of the fights right now. And so that's just what I was saying right here. And then he said, you know, early on I agree, but you should consider fully built up. I should. I do consider fully built up, but at the same time, it's like, by that point, how much do I really even need full power Broly, right? Like, we'll see. We'll see as we start to get harder fights on global. I always say it's hard to make tier list whenever, you know, we don't have all the info. Oh, Red Dog. Look, there we go. So we got Red Dog back from Twitter. This was the comment that I said I was going to make a full video on because, dude, look at this. Okay. Well, let's break this down. Red Dog. Why Broly is at least 4. Okay, so he's back down a little bit. You know, on Twitter, Red Dog was hitting us with number 3, right? He said he's at least top 3. Okay, so he typed this whole thing out and he backed down to top 4. So let's talk about it. So I got him at 100%. Fought every event in the game effortlessly. Belted them with Int Broly double lead. Okay. I mean, yeah, I definitely think that that's possible. I don't know if just being able to beat every event in the game with 2 of him on your team is necessarily, you know, like a good gauge for, oh yeah, he's absolutely the best unit in the game or something like that. But this is absolutely like an indication of the top 10. What you guys have to remember about the top 10 too right now is that the top 10 is like hyper competitive. I mean, look at the units down here that aren't making the top 10. In any other, like, in any given calendar year, like if we go back 1 year, I mean, Bulma was like literally contending for number 1 on the list like a year ago, right? And she's still kind of in like the honorable mention section, right? Like Turles would have probably been like a top 2 or 3 unit in the game last year whenever he came. Like if he released last year during Worldwide, this guy would have been like a top, you know, 4 unit in the game, even higher maybe. Like you could have put him probably above Orange Piccolo. You could have put him above Who do we have? It was Future Gohan, Bulma, and Orange Piccolo. You probably could have put this guy at like 2. I don't know if I really would have usurped Bulma or maybe Orange Piccolo, but you probably could have. This guy would have been crazy in the Fusion Zamasu fight, right? Like with his damage reduction, type advantage in the second phase, just overwhelming damage. This guy would have been crazy in that fight. So the point being is like we, just know that the top 10 right now, being like number 10 is not bad. Like, being in the top 10 on its own is like a true honor. So, just want to kind of get that out of the way. So, why Int Broly's better than Cell Max besides damage? Now, that feels like a small caveat right there. Or, like, they're making it seem like a small caveat, but actually, like, that is important. Int Broly's damage is not really anything impressive at all. Cell Max, on the other hand, can do some insane damage. I mean, Cell Max is the type of character that with some decent RNG can one-turn a really tough boss. Int Broly will never be able to do that for you. Okay, gets Team Protector skill quicker than Cell Max. Sorry about that. I started choking on I had like a piece of cereal, and I was trying to press the pause button, but my body kept jostling, and it kept going off of the pause button. My bad. So it gets, I guess he's calling the revive a Team Protector Team Protector ability. I mean, that is true. He does get the revive sooner, than Cell Max gets his active skill on a movie boss's team. That is true. I would say that Cell Max's Team Protector ability is much better, though, because it's still, like, you can still play the turn out, right? Like, Broly's, you die, and you could, it could be at the end of the turn, it could be in the middle of the turn. Like, Cell Max's Team Protector ability guarantees that everybody on your rotation still gets to do damage to the boss, which is important. And Cell Max's actually does damage, too, as well. Revive is greater than the taunt. I don't agree. The taunt can give you like a full heal. Like 1 or 2 rainbow or 1 or 2 STR orbs is giving you a full heal whenever Cell Max is taunt up. The revive is only giving you 60% HP. Like I said, the taunt still allows you to play out the entire turn. The revive does not, potentially. The revive is also inconsistent. It requires that, you die. Which, is easier said than done, whereas the taunt kind of takes the RNG out of your hands, and it just ensures that, like, your turn's going to play out, and it's going to be fine, and it's just going to work as intended. If you're trying to go for a revive, but your character accidentally, like, 5 dodges with the Int Broly, or you, I don't know, just something else happens, like your character takes less damage than you expect, then this is, like, it's not going to be consistent. So I would disagree with that. Better defense throughout the match and doesn't need to get built up. Now, this is true. I'll concede to this. I think Broly is going to be more consistent defensively throughout the entire fight, especially on a double Broly lead, where you can just have his domain up the entire time. Supports the entire team with domain, true. Supports the entire team with 80% defense for the first 4 turns, depending on rotations. And you control when you want to be slot 1, while Cell Max is locked behind his intro. Yeah, I'll give him these for the most part. Better defense throughout the match, yeah. For the most part, like on average, you'll see better, probably, from Int Broly, or at least more consistent. And you don't have to rely on the boss to get built up. Broly is just, he is what he is. And he is supporting. I mean, that is important. Okay. I don't know if I'd say that Int Broly, like, I definitely wouldn't say Int Broly is better than Cell Max, but those are all points above him. Things that, I just put a lot of value on that taunt. And Cell Max is pretty decent for the first 2 turns that he is on rotation. So I don't know. He can take damage, but I don't know. Like, maybe I could see this, but I don't know. I don't think I would go for this. Let me know what you guys think about that. You guys can rebuttal this one. Int Broly is greater than Tech Broly. No. I don't even know if I want to read this. Has a Team Protector mechanic. I mean, sure, but Tech Broly, like, his first turn, I don't want to call it a Team Protector mechanic, but him just being able to lock down, like, your first rotation that he's on, and then also give support and crit support is super valuable. Yeah, he has the domain, 80% support. I mean, I just like what Tech Broly's doing better. Tech Broly's going to be a much more consistent slot 1 character throughout the entire fight, whereas Int Broly's going to have turns where potentially he could get exposed. Tech Broly also doesn't have any restrictions that you have to think about or work around. You just put Tech Broly on a team and he works, right? Int Broly, you got to kind of play around a little bit, and I put a lot of value on Tech Broly just being able to just work, right? Int Broly, you got to kind of think about, plan around, and do, you know, shenanigans for. Tech Broly just works and is amazing. Int Broly greater than Int Vegeta. 60 is greater than 50, but Vegeta is... I feel like Vegeta's also starting out with more defense at the start of turn. I could probably calculate that, but I don't really want to. Broly does have guard for longer, which is good. Supports the entire team with the domain. Yeah, we're just going to keep bringing up these same 2 points. You control when you want to be slot 1. That is partially true. I usually don't have too many issues running Vegeta in slot 1. I have never really found that to be a huge issue for me. The other thing, too, is that Vegeta is doing, like, way more damage than Broly, which I think does matter. You know, people are going to say, like, oh, damage isn't everything. Damage doesn't matter. Damage is going to lose you more fights and it's going to win you fights, whatever. Vegeta's, like, damage blows Broly's away. And I have also not had a really difficult time getting Vegeta's revive either. I found Vegeta's revive to be very consistent and, like, available when I need it. So I would just say I like Vegeta's revive better. I think his active skill is better. I think his teams are better. I think his links are better. Vegeta is on like 100 categories, and you can just throw him on those categories, and they're gonna, you know, provide you value, or he's gonna provide you value. You know, in the future, whenever they release like a Gifted Warriors mission, a Vegeta family mission, a like what all teams is this guy even on? Like how can I get there the quickest? Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Where is he? Look at these categories. Like look at this. Look at this. I know that people go, oh, there's actually not that many teams in the game right now. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter. It's like, but listen, they're going to add more teams. They're going to add more missions. You know, they added an Otherworld Warriors mission to the Legendary Frieza event, and they haven't given us a buff to that team in years. So whenever they give us the, you know, Worthy Rivals mission to the Legendary Bojack event, guess what? We got this Vegeta for it. Whenever they give us a Siblings Bond mission for something, we've got this Vegeta. Whenever they give us a Pure Saiyan mission, we got this Vegeta. Like, look at all these categories that this guy is on. You know, the metas are going to shift and change as time goes on, and this Vegeta is going to be a really solid unit on those teams, even past his release. He's going to, like, oh, we need a slot 3 floater for this team. Guess what? We have this Vegeta who has a baseline 50% damage reduction, builds up really quickly on his own, has guaranteed crits at 24 key, and after a few hits is going to be able to tank anything for a really long time, you know? Like, even whenever this guy's at the end of his lifespan as just a slot 3 floater, he's going to be providing people value in their kits, or in their box, as the metas shift and change. Whereas Broly is locked to one team that is good right now. And I put a lot of value on how is this unit going to grow in people's boxes. And Vegeta is one that is just going to, it's going to provide you a lot of value for a long time. Broly is good in this instance right now on this team. But the moment uncontrollable power starts taking hits and starts getting chipped away at by the meta and the characters get power creeped, it's what always happens with these villain teams. They are awesome right when they drop. People are like, oh, they're the best unit in the game ever. And then, you know, people are doing tier lists with them at 1 and them at 3 and them at 5, and it's insane. And they're like, oh, Evolution Blue Vegeta's done. We're done with the 90s. He's out of here. And then in 6 months, they're like, up. Evolution Blue Vegeta back on the list. And people are like, now don't rewrite history now. Broly was better back then. It's like, no, Vegeta's always been that more consistent, more valuable option. And I think that should be considered when people do top 10 lists. Maybe that's just me. And same thing with like UI Goku. Like, I don't know how you can get this Broly above UI Goku when I don't know how UI Goku's going to age. Unless every fight from here on out just cancels dodge. But even then, we got Tech UI Goku, so you run them together. Tech UI Goku cancels the dodge canceling. Bada bing, bada boom, you win. Like, how are they going to age that combo? Vegeta eventually will age because he's just stats. How are you going to age out guaranteed dodging? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I really turn 1, he's best unit in the game, but if dodge cancels boss, if the bodge cancels docks or locks, yeah, I don't Anyway, I think I already kind of talked on this point right here, and then same thing here, basically. It's just, listen, I can get behind Broly being as high as maybe, like, 8. I think you can get me to Broly at 8. I'm not getting Broly any higher than 8. I'm sorry. I cannot get him over the wall of value. Like, that wall right there, let's see if I can get a good beat on it right here. This wall of value right here, you're just not beating that, and you're not beating that for a long time. It's going to be a while before these 3 even come off the list. You're going to need some really special units to get them off of the list, because there is so much value in these 3 units right here that if you're like a free-to-play player, you know, and you listen to people and you're like, oh, I summoned for the Broly units. Guess what? Your units are good for about 4 more months, and then they're cooked. These units will still be good in like 8 months, a year. Like, it's next worldwide, we're still going to be talking about these 3 probably. Like, unless they do something absolutely ludicrous with the power creep, which is possible. At least AGL UI Goku and Tech UI Goku, we will for sure still be talking about them in a year. Like, it'd be too insane. The bosses would be too crazy at that point. Like, no, I don't even want to think about it. Anyway. Cell Max has a ton. Oh, this is just all replies to like this. I'm not going to go over those. I'm going to just try to go over like the main comments. Not sure why people are hating on the list. It's your list for a reason. People can still put their top 10 list in the comments. Yeah, I agree. This is not... So, from Crazy Loco Insane with the most, you know, level-headed comment in the comment section. Yeah, I mean, that's always the thing, right? Like, I don't really care if people get upset. You know, as long as they're approaching with, you know, like, constructive and kind content. If you're coming at me like you're Crazy Loco Insane, not Crazy Loco Insane, but if you're acting a fool, you will be treated as such. If you're coming in level-headed, you will be treated as such. It's very simple. But yeah, listen, if you guys want to make a list, go make a list and see how people react to yours. I promise you, there's not a single list you can make in the world that's going to satisfy everyone. I mean, if you go through the comments, which there are a lot in here, you'll see some people are like, wow, this is a great list. Other people are like, I hate this list. You know, it's like, so if you make a list that you like, all the people that liked my list are going to hate your list. You know? So, anyway. John Finkelstein, 6910. Not going to lie, I pretty much agree with your list. Lamau. I go as far to swap Cell Max with Int Broly. Wow, Cell Max is good, but super bosses compared to superheroes. Movie bosses, Pure Saiyan, Super Saiyan. Cell just has a good place on Broly's team, but the team itself would do better with someone else in his place. I compare it to Kamehameha category. LR Gohan just got it. I've seen a lot of hate for the category, but give it another few months and it'll only get better. Long story short, don't read that, YouTube. Don't read that. Okay, that's a naughty word. Blank the haters, and I think Cell Max should barely crack the top 10. I disagree a little bit. I recognize that I underrate Cell Max. Like, that's definitely just like my personal experience thing. It seems as though John, Mr. Finkelstein here, does agree with me, though, and has had a similar experience to me, where Cell Max just never really looks like the most impressive unit on the team, and typically seems overrated. You know, like, a lot of this does, people are like, oh, this shouldn't come down to personal experience. It should just be, you know, raw facts or something. And it's like, well, this game's entirely RNG, right? Like, if I just have really bad luck with the unit, I'm not going to like them. It was the same thing last year with the AGL Blue Goku and Vegeta unit. I was telling people they suck, I hate them, they're losers. And everyone's like, oh, but they're so good. They're the only units that can handle slot 1 in these new fights. And I'm like, well, sure, maybe if they dodged. Mine doesn't dodge, ever, right? Like, mine were just eating super attacks constantly. Like, I load into Fusion Zamasu, they eat a super attack, and we're just cooked, right? Like, it's just, that's the way it was for me. Everyone else is like, well, they're dodging, and they're bobbing and weaving, and it's so fun, right? So, it does come down to personal experience and how you're getting to feel with these units. So, Mr. Finkelstein here, not exactly a big fan of Cell Max. Bro, Cell Max 8, are you serious? AGL Broly between 8 and 10. Tech Broly's really nice, actually. The rest, I agree. See, this isn't so bad. I am serious about Cell Max at 8. Again, if I could just get him over the wall of value, I could do that. But, again, I just like those units a lot, and I think they're going to provide me value in my box for a long time. Yada, yada, yada. AGL Broly between 8 and 10. The highest I could get him is 10. That'd be the absolute highest I could negotiate with you. And then Tech Broly's really nice. The rest I agree. I assume he's talking about the Carnival Tech Broly. Dude, that Carnival Tech Broly is just sweet, man. He just works, right? Like, he just works. Mr. Biff Cunningham, 2603. Decent list, but so dry. I guess it's something to do. I think the trio competes with new Gohan and Beast because of the support they give to offer others. Tech Broly is like the only unit I like, never takes damage. Still a bit lacking, biggest issue. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like the same kind of general vibe we've been getting from a lot of people. People like the trio, and I get it. I don't think some people like your list. Hey, listen, man. Baguette liker, I like baguettes too. But somebody out there, they don't like baguettes, and they're going to come let you know about it. So get ready, all right? I've sent the hordes after you. All the baguette haters, you go get this guy. B still got to be 1 for me, but to be fair, superheroes is tops for me since I got a lot of best units for it rainbowed. I think this is going to be another thing that is very common for a lot of people. The superhero team right now is very accessible to players, and it's full of a lot of units that we all just summoned for during Anniversary, especially on Global. So right now, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, yeah, Beast is still #1 because that's the best team that they can run, and it's a really good team that can beat everything, so I get it. I'm glad someone finally isn't glazing Cell Max. See, here's another Cell. Listen, Riff. You prepare yourself, Riff, all right? They're going to come after you. He's good, but people saying he's 1B alongside Beast is crazy. Top 10 for sure, but wouldn't have him top 5. Honestly, the new Int Broly has put in some work for me. It has put in more work for me than him. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, it comes down to personal experience. But yeah, happy to see that Riff here agrees. These Elbozos trying to make a tier list to be like, listen, like this is just like uncalled for. You're just walking in here calling me an Elbozo, and it's just like, don't even, you know, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you agree with? You know, like this is just uncalled for, right? And that's what I said. Where's your video? You know, listen, where's their video? All right, maybe I could click on their channel and it's there, but you know, maybe not. Terrible list. Cell Max. This low says a lot. Like this is what this person did. They went. All right, bad list. All right, it's time to go to the comments, right? You know, again, this is and I just said, yeah, the top 10 is super competitive. I'm not here to regurgitate other people's opinions. If you want to make a list, go for it. You know, that's what we're here for, right? Like, if you want to make a list, man, go for it. You could have left it in the comments right here, but you didn't. Solid list, bro. I think Imp Broly is better than Cell Max. Listen, another one. You guys got to tally these up and let me know who's winning here. By the way, sometimes don't take like the hearts as like, I don't know. Listen, I leave hearts on like every comment. The only time I don't is whenever I forget to, or if it's like a comment like this, right? Like a lot of the thing, the way I go through my comments, right, is that it shows me all the ones that I haven't responded to. And one of the ways to make them go away is to leave a heart on it. That counts as responding to it. Like, liking it doesn't, but leaving a heart does. So sometimes I'll just do those just to clear the notification. Don't take it as like, oh, Jordan didn't leave me a heart, man. He must hate my comment. Like, no, it's just sometimes I remember to. Sometimes I forget to. Sometimes I just don't have a good comment. Like, or sometimes I don't have like a good response, and I'll read the comment and be like, yeah, man, sure. And I just hit the like. Like, it's that simple. Trio is still top 1. Definitely can see it. Cell Max is a lot better than 8, top 5 contender. Again, I can see it, but just not for me. Not on my list. Not gonna lie, I think Beast is still #1, and Beast we trust. Again, yeah, very common opinion there. W list, but brother, this isn't a tier list. It's just the top 10. Again, yeah, I did a tier list. We did the tier list at the end. Okay, listen, it's not clickbait. There's your tier list right there. Okay, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I can't put Beast over the trio. Hard stuck at 3 for me. Trio or Gohan fighting for 1. I got trio at 1 because they make Gohan look different. Yeah, I definitely get it. Like, the trio makes every unit look insane. Gohan is just good, but what the trio does for units is just so valuable, man. Like, that's got to be the most valuable unit they've ever released in the game. This tier list is true garbage. Cell Max. Hang on, where'd it go? Tier list is true garbage. Cell Max is always within... This is insanity. Always within 1 spot of Beast Gohan. Like, there's a reason this has 13 replies. All right? That's actual lunacy. I'm sorry. Harem SpongeBob. I'm sorry. Great list. I haven't used Gohan enough, but he's still top #1 contender. Yeah, they're all interchangeable. Dude, yeah, W for having Dr. Wheelo on the thumbnail. Look at that, dude. Yeah, Wheelo Monkey. Thank you. We got two Wheelo Monkey comments. Look at that. Beast damage is so ass. Yeah, listen, it is lagging behind. His damage is starting to really lag behind. Like, unless you're going to, on his active skill turn, put him in, like, the slot 3 and let him hit every single attack on rotation, His damage numbers are definitely way lower than everyone else. Fine list, but I disagree with your Beast above Super Saiyan Trio, but that's my opinion. I also agree with Cell Max and UI Goku being this low. Listen, the UI Goku, Tech UI Goku, I don't know if he's talking about both or either or what. I just think these three go together, and I said that in my tier list. You can put these three in any order that you want. So if you wanted to have this guy at 5, I would get it. Honestly, if you want to put this guy over Tech Broly, I could probably get that too. I probably should have put, like... Honestly, the way I should have done this is I should have put the trio in this tier. I should have put Broly through Cell Max in tier 2, and then Jiren and Broly in, like, tier 3. I think is how I would revise this. I think the top 3 are pretty interchangeable. Yada yada. This is a long comment. I'm sorry. What did I say here? Thanks. I'm lower on Cell Max than most, but I just can't get them above the reps border wall. Yeah. So again, just same sentiment. OG Asian God channel member here, subscriber. I think the list God, with the exception of being Int Broly. Personally, I would put AGL Broly above him. Okay. We had a couple other people say that as well. Nah, bro. I think AGL Broly is better than the Int one. Again, another person saying that. Yeah, clickbait thumbnail. Listen, buddy. That was actually the first comment I got on the video. All right. Yeah, man. Turns out, sorry, Babidi and Deborah actually aren't the #1 unit in the game. Guys, I'm sorry. We end it here. I confess, Babidi and Deborah are not the #1 unit in the game. So let me know what your top 10 would be. Thank you for everyone who supported this video and left a comment. Sorry, I kind of just yada-yada'd over a few people, but there are a lot of comments on this video. I tried to respond to everybody in here. So if I didn't respond to your comment, I'm sorry, but I think I got to everyone. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time.